All right, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, got my first official power ranking of the season. Last year we started this. We're at the first of every month. We did power rankings to the NBA. And December 1st today, we are doing it power rankings, all 30 teams here in the NBA. My personal power rankings gets me a chance to talk about all 30 teams. At each point during the year. That's what we're doing here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Link to my Twitters, all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So, we start from the bottom up. So we're starting at number 30. The 30th ranked team we got in the power rankings is the Washington Wizards, sitting at 2-16. Worst record in the NBA, last in the Eastern Conference. They're on a 14-game losing streak. They have the 30th ranked offense, 30th ranked defense, and 30th in net rating. They suck. Straight up. They just suck. Which they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be bad. Go get, capture the flag is on for them. But they just are straight up bad. I mean, honestly, at the start of the year, I kind of was like intrigued with this team a little bit because they had a couple wins. They looked decent. I was like, dang, are the Wizards going to be actually like a okayish team and have a big improvement from last year? But then they came back down to earth and said, no, they're not. They're the worst team in the league. Um, Good things. We'll start with Jordan Poole. That's like a little bit of resurgence. Give you 21, 5 assists, 2 steals on decent shooting. So Jordan Poole is kind of coming back up. Some of the rookies, Bub Carrington, Keyshawn George, are having some moments. Valanciunas has been decent. Malcolm Brogdon in his 7 games has come back from injury, has been solid. Bilal Coulibaly has shown a lot of moments as well. And then you have Kyle Kuzma. I desperately want a Kyle Kuzma trade, man. Kyle Kuzma just doesn't fit this team anymore. He's having a really bad season, efficiency wise, like everywhere. Just having a really bad season. Kyle Kuzma is also taken away from other people. Like one of the reasons I was tuned in to watch the Wizards honestly was Bilal Coulibaly and seeing his development. But since Kuzma's been out, his numbers have dropped significantly because Kyle Kuzma doesn't pass the ball at all, and he's taking any shot he wants to. So yeah, Alex Sarr, the number 2 overall pick, showing some flashes, especially on the defensive end. Offensively, still work in progress, having some horrible shooting numbers. Still trying to figure out what his fit is on offense. But yeah, I mean, this team is bad, really, really bad, really, really sucks. But this is kind of how they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be kind of pretty bad, and they probably have, I mean, talent for talent, the worst roster in the NBA. You know, so yeah, they're gonna be pretty bad. Honestly, how many wins they finished with this season? I'll be surprised if they finish with more than 13 wins, and be honest. I'd be surprised if they finish better than like what 13 and what is it, 13 and 69, I think. Like that, honestly, I will be very surprised if they get to like 15 wins. Because they really, really suck. Next up at number 29, we have the Utah Jazz. They are 4-15, 14th in the Western Conference. They have a 26th rated offense, 28th in defense, 28th in net rating. They're another team that are just really, really bad to watch. Like honestly, if you take all of, if I had what you probably have on League Pass and stuff, but if you take a percentage of like how much I've watched each team this season, the Utah Jazz, I would bet money the Utah Jazz are dead last. I don't think I've really, like honestly, I watched the Utah Jazz. Obviously, NBA. I watch all the NBA. But if you're talking about paying attention and actually caring, the Jazz are like at the lowest point of the season right now. Like I don't really pay attention to the Jazz at all. Because yeah, they're pretty bad. 4-15. Um, Good things. John Collins, honestly, is having a really good season. Give you 17, 8, 2 assists. Defensively, he's been solid. He's shooting the ball pretty well. 53, 35, 95 shooting splits. John Collins has actually been good this year. Will he get traded? Probably not because he still has that player option, but he's been good. You get some moments sometimes from guys like Colin Sexton. Keontae George has been decent. Jordan Clarkson. Walker Kessler has had a really good bounce back season, averaging 10 and 10, 3 blocks on 70% shooting. Um, but besides that, it's like really this year we're supposed to be watching the young players develop. And so far, Keontae George has been very on and off. Good thing is Walker Kessler has stepped up. Bryce Sensabaugh the last couple games has been shooting the ball well, so maybe that could be a development for them. Kyle Filipowski, when he does get in, is decent. They unfortunately had the Taylor Hendricks injury early on in the season. I was really looking forward to see how he looked in the second year. Um, Cody Williams has been horrible as a rookie. Isaiah Collier looks like a rookie point guard, which you understand what that means. So yeah, the underdevelopment just hasn't been there a lot this season. But we expected this. I expected the Utah Jazz to be bad. I didn't expect the Jazz to kind of replicate what they have the past couple years, where they just kind of started off the year really good for some reason. Yeah, this team in this Western Conference, no. But they're supposed to be bad. Go out, go get a pick, go get a nice pick again, and see what happens. But 29, we got the Utah Jazz. At number 28, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. They are 4-16, sitting last in the West. 27th rated offense, 27th defense, 29th in net rating. We know this entire year the injuries. Injuries have literally killed them. Looking at some of the guys, Zion 6 games, CJ McCollum 7 games, Trey Murphy 7 games, DeJounte Murray 3 games, Herb Jones 4 games. That's literally almost an entire starting 5 right there. Then Brandon Ingram has missed the last couple games. Jordan Hawkins has missed a lot of time. Jose Murado's going to miss a lot of time. So yeah, they've been running Brandon Boston, Eves Missy, Jeremiah Robinson, Earl, Javonte Green, Elfrid Payton literally got signed and then 5 hours later was starting in a game. I made a video yesterday talking about the Pelicans more in depth. So if you want, you can go back and watch that video from yesterday talking about the Pelicans more in depth in the future and all this stuff like that. But yeah, they've been very bad. Injuries have literally destroyed this season. I was really high on the Pelicans coming into this season, and they just 4-16 start in this Western Conference. I mean, they're gonna have to go on a streak just to get back to like the 12th seed. Honestly, they're still 5 games behind like the 12, 11 seed. So imagine what they're gonna have to do to really get there. And they're still not healthy. They still don't have Bi. They still don't have Zion. They do have some of their guys back. CJ, DeJounte, Trey Murphy, they're back, but still no Bi, Zion, no Herb Jones. And it's just it really really sucks that it's like everything has gone wrong for this team. Really. Like, we already know that we have not seen this team fully healthy, but this is just that on overdrive. Like, it is insane. Like, literally everybody on this team has had some sort of injury, has missed some sort of time at some point. Everyone important, at least on this team, has missed some time at some point. And it's like, man, I don't really know, what do you do if you're David Griffin? That's why I said a lot of that video. I was like, I really wouldn't want to be in David Griffin's shoes right now, because what do you do for the future? Apparently there's reports saying they still are hunting for playoffs, which is okay because we just turned in December, but you also gonna have to win at some point. You can't just be 4-16, still 10 games over to 500 and be like, well, playoffs. And it's like, at some point, you're going to have to fold your cards eventually if Bi and Zion aren't playing and all this stuff. So I'm really interested to see what the future looks like for New Orleans for the rest of the year. But right now, it's just bad. I mean, they're playing basically half of G League lineup playing it out there, because they just have not had their team fully intact and healthy for 1 second at all this entire season. So yeah, Pelicans, just, it's really unfortunate how just bad this season has gone. At number 27, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. They are 4-14, sitting at 14th in the East. 28th rated offense, 15th defense, 26th in net rating. They've also, similar to the Pelicans, had a season from hell, where injuries have just been off the rails. They have not had their full team really healthy for more than maybe 5 minutes in that Grizzlies game. But yeah, Tyrese Maxey has missed 6 games. Joel Embiid has missed 14 out of the 18 games. Paul George has only played in half the games. And yeah, it's been really tough. Jared McCain has really been their best player this season as a rookie, which is one good thing. Right now, he's leading the Rookie of the Year race. He has calmed down the last 2 or 3 games, but he still has been great. But it's not even just the big three. It's just everything on this team really has been. Besides Jared McCain and Gershon Yabusele, nothing has really been. Like, Kelly Oubre has been okay. Caleb Martin has not been the player that they signed up for him to be. Andre Drummond hasn't been the big that we expected, but also because we didn't expect him to play this much. Kyle Lowry looks 38 years old. Eric Gordon looks 36 years old. Rick Jackson isn't in the rotation at all. Like, a lot of the players that they signed with this great offseason and haven't been what they signed up for. And then we have Joel Embiid being injured, and even when he has been playing, he was only at really one game. That Grizzlies game was the only game where he really looked like Joel Embiid. He still looks like he needs to get into shape, and he's not really ready yet, or not really fully there yet. And his movement looks really bad. Paul George hasn't really played well when he's played either. He's having a horrible efficiency season. You know, it's really been relying on Tyrese Maxey having to take 30 shots and having to get you 28 to 30 points a night for you to just stay in the game. So it's just been all around bad for the Sixers. The good thing, the silver lining is we're just turned to December and they play in the Eastern Conference. So as long as if they can like wins for Philly and they're all the way already up in like the play-in, you know. So they're gonna. Eventually at some point they're gonna have to go on a streak, like a winning streak of like winning 7 or 8 of 10 games, something like that. But again, eventually at some point they're playing the East, and things are gonna have to even out for them at some point, right? Like no way they're just gonna stay this bad for this long. Eventually at some point something's gonna have to happen, and if it doesn't happen, then that's man. Then there's a lot more to talk about with this team. But yeah, you still have to have a little bit of faith in this team. You still have to have some faith, even if it's not fully getting to a top 5 seed or anything like that. You still have to have some faith and some confidence that at some point this team could turn it around and still make it. You have to believe that. But yeah, it's been another year for them where it's just everything that could gone wrong, Philly has gone wrong for them. At number 26, we have the Toronto Raptors. They are 5-15, sitting at 13th in the Eastern Conference. They have had about as perfect of a season as they could really right now. Where they've had injuries, which really sucks, but they've had young players step up and they've been bad, which is the good thing. They have the 19th rated offense, 22nd defense, 22nd net rating, but they honestly they're better than their record. 5-15, they are way better than this because they have perfected tanking. Like they have perfected tanking where every game they've been in every game this year. It feels like every game they have been in at some point. And then it gets to either the fourth quarter, it gets to the last 5 minutes, and they're like, okay, take the foot off the gas. Like look at some of their losses this year. Lost by 2 in overtime to the Nuggets. Lost by 6 to the Lakers, where they were in that game. Lost again by 2 to the Nuggets, where an RJ Barrett shot would have took them to overtime again. Lost by 2 to the Clippers. Was in over once. I'm sorry. I guess the Bucks. It was really really close. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was the Detroit Pistons. My fault. But against the Bucks, lost by 4. Against the Pistons, lost by 4. Against the Celtics, went to overtime, lost out of Jason Tatum game winner. Cleveland, they're in the game. Then that last second, lost by 14. Lost to Detroit again. Lost to Miami, where they're in that game. Like it feels like almost every loss they're in the game at some point in the second half. Even that Kings game, I think, where they lost, they were in that game. Like they feel like they've been in every game this season, but at some point, then they take their foot off the gas and are like, okay, now we know what we're here for. And they've had young player development. RJ Barrett is having an MIP type of season. Give you 23, 6, and 6. The playmaking jump has been there. He's been amazing. Scotty Barnes, even though he's only put in 9 games, and his 9 games, 28 and 6. Especially recently, he's been doing good. Grady Dick is having a great sophomore season. Jakob Poeltl is doing his thing, building some trade value. Ochai Baji is shooting 47% from 3. He's been very good recently. Jamison Battle was an undrafted dude. No one even knew who Jamison Battle was, and so far, he's been like a rotational piece for this team. Unfortunately, they have not had Emmanuel Quickley. Only played in 3 games this year due to injury. But I feel like everything that opposite of what I said about the Pelicans and the Sixers, everything that can go right for the Raptors is going right for them. Where they're having young players develop, they're finding some gems, they're finding out what some of their young players for the future, and they're losing games, but they're losing respectively. Where they are shown the talent that if they really wanted to win games, if they really wanted to win, they probably would. They probably could be like what? They probably could be 10-10 right now, or maybe even 11-9. Like they probably could be a 500 team right now, if they really wanted to be, but they're just not, which is okay for them. They want to. They said it at media day. They said it. They made it clear right before the season started. We don't want to. We're trying to tank. We're trying to tank. We're trying to get another pick. We're trying to let our young players develop. We don't really need to win or make a playoff series or anything like that. And they're doing everything exactly right. So they get an A+ on this season for them. At 25, we have the Charlotte Hornets. They are 6-14, sitting at 12th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 25th rated offense, 18th defense, 24th in net rating. This team, honestly, I've probably watched a lot of the Charlotte Hornets this year. Probably a lot more than a lot of other teams, surprisingly. Like they're probably one of my top teams in terms of league pass and stuff. They're probably one of my top teams, and that's solely because of Lamelo Ball. Lamelo Ball has been phenomenal, having an All-Star, All NBA type season, 31, 5 and 7. He has just been electric. Unfortunately, he's gonna miss 2 weeks due to a calf injury, which really sucks. But he has been must-watch TV. Brandon Miller, after having a tough start, has really gotten going. Give you 20 points per game. But that's really all they have, so they're going to lose a lot of games. I thought they were going to be a play-in potential, and they still do. It's still December, but this probably not going to happen. Besides that, this team doesn't really have much. Miles Bridges has missed the last couple games. Trey Man's going to be out for a little while. Nick Richards just came back. He's been injured. We have not seen Mark Williams yet this year. Like, injuries have just been piling up for this team. Grant Williams is out for the season now with an ACL injury. But there's some solid things. I mean, Josh Green, I really like Josh Green as a piece on this team. Cody Martin potentially could be a trade deadline candidate. You can get some stuff. Musa Diabate has all of a sudden become like an actual player for this team. He's been a rebounding machine for them. So they have some decent things. It's just they're still young. They still don't have a lot of talent on this team besides really LaMelo and Brandon Miller. They're still trying to figure out the pieces. But it's been encouraging to see LaMelo finally being out there to play and show that, yeah, I'm that guy. It's nice to see Brandon Miller and LaMelo kind of finally forming a connection consistently. It's fun seeing some of these guys like Trey Mann finding a spot, Josh Green finding a spot, Musa Diabate becoming a role player on this team. Dejan Salon, their first round pick, has shown some decent moments so far that makes you confident in his future. So they've shown some things. They're not going to win a lot of games because they're still young and they still kind of suck. But at least it's like, you're seeing some things out of this team. At 24, we have the Portland Trailblazers. They're 8-12, sitting at 13th in the West. Have the 29th rated offense, 17th defense, 27th in net rating. They've been a lot better than expected. Honestly, it's because of the young guy, like the young players, the baby Blazers, as they call them, have been kind of must-watch TV. And as a I did not expect to watch the Portland Trailblazers as much as I kind of am intrigued and interested in this team. And it's all because of the young guys. Like Shane Sharp, since his return, has been really good, gave you 17 points per game. Scoot Henderson is slowly but surely maybe finding a little bit of success. Daniel Diaz started off pretty bad, but he's finding success as well. Chumani Kamara has been just a staple on this team defensively. That guy is just amazing. Just such a winning player. Just such a winning player. Such a winning player. Donovan Clingan, when he does play, is phenomenal defensively. Give you 2 blocks per game in only 17 minutes. He had Daniel triple-double with blocks one game. Unfortunately, he's going to miss some time. But he has been really, really good. So you get something. Robert Williams, when he does play, has been like, whoa. Like, I forgot how good Robert Williams is. So there's been some really nice things with the young guys on this team, which makes me be like, hey, can we trade Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton? Like, can we trade those guys? How do I forget my guy? Chauncey Billups, if you're listening out there. Give Delano Ban more minutes, please. Give Delano minutes. Every time, he's literally been the definition of taking the opportunity when he gets it. Because I feel like every time I'm watching the Portland Trailblazers, Delano Ban comes in the game in like the fourth quarter, that dude goes off. Like, bro, give him more minutes, please. But yeah, like I think for Portland, it's eye-opening that some of their best wins and good games this season have been when no Jeremy Grant, no Anthony Simons, no DeAndre. And it's just been like Shane Sharp, Denny, Donovan Clingan, Tuani Kamara, and the guys just going out and just making something happen. So yeah, Portland. Honestly, I've been like not horrible this year, which I expected them to be the worst team in the West, maybe worst team in the league potential, but they've actually been pretty solid this year. So shout out to the Blazers, and hopefully, I mean, they just beat Sacramento, so hopefully, some trades happen over there in Portland. We get to see the young guys really go out there and really cook. At 23, we have the Chicago Bulls at 8-13, sitting at number 11 in the Eastern Conference. 14th rated offense, 29th defense, 25th in net rating. This team just has the potential to really go off just because they shoot so many threes that they literally have just the potential to go and hit 20 threes in a game. Like early in the year, they actually were very exciting because they had a couple games where they were down 20 and came back and won just because they just started hitting threes all the time. It's been coming back down to earth in the last couple games, but I mean, and the defense sucks, but they're fast. Number 1 in pace, I think. They're very fast and they shoot a lot of threes, which is not something you see from the Bulls that often. So it's interesting to see the lineup or the kind of philosophy change with this new young team. Zach LaVine has been solid this year, give you 22 points on almost 50, 40, 90 shooting. Nick Vucevic has had a great season, 21 and 10, shooting 47% from threes. Definitely a trade candidate. Kobe White has been solid. You know, yeah, they just really shoot a lot of threes. That's kind of that's how they have a chance in every game. They just are going to take 45 threes, and sometimes they're going to hit 22. Sometimes they're going to hit 11. And it's just like, let's flip the coin, let's flip a dice, or roll the dice, flip a coin, and see what goes on. What kind of team we're getting. But yeah, I mean, Vooch and Levine, potential trade candidates, especially Vucevic with the way the season he's having right now, definitely playing up his value a whole lot. I wouldn't bet on Zach LaVine getting traded, but maybe he could be, because Zach LaVine, he's been very good this year. He has been very good this season. It's just that contract is crazy. But we've talked about that already multiple times. But yeah, right now the Bulls are just playing, decent basketball. Probably gonna flame out and be just like a bad team this year. But at least if they're gonna be some fun to watch in terms of they're gonna shoot a lot of threes, they're gonna play really fast, then you know what? Hey, that's good for them. That's really good for them. At 22, we have the Detroit Pistons sitting at 9 and 13, 10th in the Eastern Conference. The 23rd rated offense, 13th defense, 18th in net rating. The Pistons look like an actual basketball team, which is all we really wanted. They got to a bad start. I think they started like 1-5, or like they started off horrible, and it was like, oh man, are we do this again? But they have been a lot better. And honestly, I really do think they're better than the record. Not by a lot. Not by a lot. I don't think they're a top 5 team in the East or anything like that. But I think they're better than what their record is at 9 and 13. Like they play like an actual basketball team. It's really just they can't close out games in the fourth quarter, and sometimes they just were like yesterday. That was a pretty bad game. I guess the Sixers, they got just smacked up. But yeah, Cade is having a really good year. He has missed the last couple games, unfortunately, but 23, 7 and 9, pretty solid. Jane Ivey's had a bounce back year, give you 18, 4 and 4 on really nice efficiency. Malik Beasley has been very good, 40% from three, 16 points per game. Tobias has been solid. Tamar Jr. has some moments here and there. Isaiah Stewart has had a solid season. Ron Holland has done some things. Sar Thompson is back, which I love that. He's been really solid in his couple games. So the Pistons actually are a competent basketball team, we found out. They are a competent basketball team. Jamie Bickerstaff has got this team looking pretty solid. Still has a long ways to go, obviously. But I genuinely do think they could be a play-in team this year. Genuinely. I think they really can. Like, I think they have had some really nice moments, really nice stretches throughout games where it's like, man, the Pistons actually are like balling. And if Cade can stay healthy this entirety of the season, like I genuinely do believe with this Eastern Conference, they definitely can sneak in there as a 9 or 10 seed in the East, which is all we really wanted from the Detroit Pistons. So good job, Detroit. At 21, we have the Indiana Pacers sitting at 9 and 11, 8th in the Eastern Conference. They've had a pretty disappointing season. Right now they're 16th in offense, 24th in defense, 23rd in net rating. I mean, we knew about the defense; they're not a great defense team, but their offense has just been so disappointing. Where last year they're the best offense, one of the best offenses in the league, best pace. You just knew they were going to put up 130 points a night. This year it's just been not that. Their pace has been just average. Their offense has been average. Guys aren't really stepping up. Tyrese Halliburton is not having a really good season at all. It's been bad. They've had injuries as well. Aaron Neeson's only played in 6 games. Andrew Nembhard's only played 7 games. You had James Wiseman and Isaiah Jackson both out for the season. 2 backup big men. Like it's been tough there on the injury front, and then just their offense has not been the same really. Like Pascal Siakam's having an all right season. Bennedict Mathurin has been getting buckets, but after that, it's like Miles Turner has his games here and there. TJ McConnell's been okay, I guess, but like Obi Toppin has just been like out there, whatever. They have to rely on Quentin Jackson right now as a team starting shooting guard. Like that's the point we're at right now, where Quentin Jackson and Moses Brown and Enrique Freeman are actual like rotational players for this team. Which a lot of his injuries, but also it's just like they need something, really, and they just haven't been able to get it. Where it's really tough out there to watch for Indiana. Like this is one of the most fun teams in the NBA last year, and now this year they're just kind of like, I don't even really care about this team right now. I really don't care about this team. Like they're gonna really need Tyrese Halliburton to find something, find his shot consistently. He has been okay the last couple games, so maybe he eventually is taking steps. But eventually they're gonna have to have him find something. They're gonna need like Neesmith and Nemhard back, because those are two big pieces. Those are two starters literally on this team, and they're just gonna need to find their offense again. Like their offense, like we already know they're not gonna win games based on their defense. Like they're gonna win games. They have to win games by scoring 125, 130 points. It's just outrunning you and outscoring you. But they just haven't been able to do that. They have not been. They've been kind of trying to conform to this new offense with Pascal Siakam and all that, which is okay, I guess. But it's also like, man, it's also like I don't know. Like literally, Tyrese Halliburton was unlocked with like run and gun, like pace, space. Everything was controlled by him, and he was controlling everything. But now we kind of Pascal Siakam being the main guy. It's not bad, but it's also like you're taking away basically everything you were last season that got you all the way to the conference finals. So it's just they're gonna have to find a balance and find something, because right now this team just looks like a totally different team than what we thought. At number 20, we have the Sacramento Kings. They are 9-11, sitting at 12th in the Western Conference, 10th rated offense, 16th defense, 15th in net rating. The Kings have just been really interesting this year. I think that's the only way I can really say it. They've been interesting. You know, they've been just very on and off. De'Aaron Fox is having an amazing season, 27, 5, and 6. You know, Domantas Sabonis is still doing Domantas Sabonis things, 20, 13, and 6. DeMar DeRozan's been all right, pretty all right, shooting 50% from the field, 22 points per game. He has missed games. You know, he's missed a couple games here and there. Malik Monk's missed a couple games. He's been solid. But really just kind of been the depth. Keegan Murray hasn't really taken a jump that we expect him to. Like, he's shooting 27% from three. He's just kind of been like, all right. You know, Kevin Huerter still hasn't really found his shot from that first year in Sacramento. They literally had to just sign Jay Crowder and throw him into the starting lineup. You know, Keon Ellis was out. But after that, like Trey Lyles doesn't really do much on this team. Like I have not really seen Trey Lyles do anything. You know, Doug McDermott is, it's Doug. Like I'm not expecting Doug McDermott to do anything. Like it's just the depth on this team just kind of sucks. Like after their four of like De'Aaron, DeMar, Demonis, Malik, they don't really have anything. You know, like they don't have anything they can rely on right now in terms of 3-point shooting. Defense, they have some, like Keon Ellis. Again, Keon Ellis is a really good defender, and he's been shooting. He's actually been probably their best role player, has been Keon Ellis, who wasn't even starting this season when we thought he should be starting. Like, so it's just the depth is bad. Their defense actually has been decent numbers wise, but they're just a team that when they need a stop, they cannot get a stop. There's been they probably win 3-4 more games and they can just get a stop when they need to. There's been so many times, especially early in the year, where they just needed to stop and they could not get it. I mean, they have the fourth quarter scoring offense of De'Aaron, DeMar, Malik Monk even. Like, they get buckets in the fourth. They're just also going to give up buckets in the fourth. And if we could just limit a little bit of that bucket getting in the fourth from the other team, they probably are a better team. But yeah, it's been very confusing because they've been good, but they haven't been. Like, they've had really good moments from different players, but after their top four, it's just everything else kind of just like is blah. Like there's nothing there. At 19, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves sitting at 9-10 at number 11 in the Western Conference. 17th rated offense, 10th defense, 13th in net rating. I made a video a couple days ago talking about the problems the Detroit Pistons have. The Minnesota Timberwolves have, and it's just been a lot. I was really high on the Timberwolves coming into this season, even after the Cat trade. I was still high on this team, and so far it's just not been there. Like Ant is having a good year. I don't think Julius Randle's been bad at all. It's just it's been a lot of different things. The defense just hasn't been elite. They were a team built on elite defense. It's not doing that. Rudy Gobert is not having the DPOY type of season. A lot of their other guys as well have not really been having great defensive seasons. There've been a lot of miscommunications and just a lot different. Like this looks like a completely different defense than what it was last year, where a lot of it was like funneled to Rudy Gobert. This year, it's kind of not really been that, and it's been really odd to see their offense. Their shooters haven't been shooting. Jaden McDaniels has just been kind of like a whatever on offense. Donte DiVincenzo has not had a good shooting year. Mike Conley looks 37 years old. It's been tough there. It was apparently some chemistry issues. Anthony Edwards came after the game. He was talking about how teammates aren't happy for each other. You had the whole Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert situation that happened in the Raptors game. It's just it's been a struggle. It really has been a struggle for Minnesota. I'm kind of I have some confidence that eventually they're going to find their rhythm and find a way because this roster, I feel like it's just a little bit too talented to just flame out and not make a play-in seat or anything like that. But in terms of contending and being like a conference finals, I don't really know because their defense just has not been there. Their offense just kind of gets stagnant. It gets to a point where it's like, all right, yeah, make something happen. All right, Julius Randle, make something happen. And it's just like we're supposed to be built. We're supposed to be a really good constructed roster, and it's not. The roster is not doing that. It's not being a good constructed roster right now. So there's just been a lot of things with the Timberwolves. Again, I don't really know. Like I have some confidence that eventually they're gonna figure something out and be good, but it's just been really kind of. It's been a little bit tough to watch how this team has kind of downward spiraled this entire season. At number 18, we have the Brooklyn Nets sitting at 9 and 11, ninth in the Eastern Conference. The 8th rated offense, 26th defense, 20th in net rating. The Brooklyn Nets have been an actually good team this season. I mean, they start off really hot. They have come back down to earth a little bit, but even then, they've won a couple games where it's like, man, like the Nets are actually like competitive, you know? Like they've had so many good seasons. Cam Thomas is having a really nice season, and it's unfortunate that he's gonna miss a couple weeks because honestly, Cam Thomas is honestly one of my favorite players. So it really sucks. Dennis Schroeder is having a heck of a season, 18 and 6 on 45, 41, 88 shooting. Cam Johnson has been on fire recently. You know, Dorian Finney-Smith has been shooting the ball well from three. Jalen Wilson has had some moments. Zaire Williams has had some moments. You know, Nick Claxton has been decent. No Connie, Tyrese Martin has been solid. Ben Simmons has had some like turn back the clock type of games. This team is actually really competitive. They get into a lot of close games, and like it's a really nice basketball. It really is. And they're kind of showing right now, like, hey, Jordy Fernandez can actually coach this team. You know, now eventually they're gonna have to start losing because they own their first round pick this year, and there's no reason why they should be winning games. You know, because there's no point in doing that. Also, trading a lot of guys like Dennis Schroeder and Cam Johnson, their values are probably at an all-time high right now. So you got to sell right now. Cam Thomas, we don't know. Maybe he could get traded, maybe not. I don't know. But the Brooklyn Nets have actually been like a team that I thought coming into the season I was gonna watch maybe a couple games to start the year and then be like, all right, we're done. But they've been honestly again another team that I've watched so a lot because one, they're always in close games, but two, it's like, dang, like this team is actually really competitive, you know, and really has some good things about them. So yeah, it's been really nice to see the Nets do this. You know, a lot of their players really break out and have some good moments. Again, they're gonna have to start losing at some point, which I think is probably starting already a little bit. But you know, it's yeah, Brooklyn has been you know Brooklyn has been nice. At 17, we have the Atlanta Hawks. They're 10 and 11, seated at number 7 in the Eastern Conference. They have the 22nd offense, 21st defense, 21st in net rating, which is very interesting. Did not expect those rating numbers, but hey, whatever. The Hawks are probably the most confusing team in the NBA. They defeated the Cavaliers twice in a row. They defeated the Boston Celtics. They've also lost 2 games to the Washington Wizards. So I don't really know. This team is so apparently when they play the best competition, they're gonna win. Anybody else, they're gonna suck. I don't really know. But you know, Trey Young has had a really good season, 21 and 12 assists, leading the NBA in assists. Even though he's shooting the ball really bad right now, the last couple games he hasn't really been looking for a shot at all, but it's been working. Jalen Johnson still having an incredible year, 20, 10, and 5, a steal and a block, doing great. DeAndre Hunter recently has been shooting the lights out. You know, as a six man, Dyson Daniels is having an all defensive type of season. You know, Zachary Rasashi's having a really solid rookie year. And Kongwu's had some good moments. So, I mean, the young players are really developing for the Hawks. The young Hawks are really coming out and they're playing some really good basketball. You know, when they want to, apparently. If they're playing against the top teams in the league, they're gonna come to play. You know, that at least you can say that. If they're playing the top teams, they're a good team. Anybody against everybody else, they're kind of just like an average whatever team, apparently. But yeah, there's been some really good things about this team this year. The young guys, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, are really becoming like building blocks to this team. Zachary Sachet, I say every time I talk about him, I think he's having a really underrated rookie season, and I like the things I see from him. I got Kakangwu who's slowly taking that job away from Clint Capella. DeAndre Hunter is kind of maybe finding a role as a bench scorer, I guess. And Trey Young, even though he's not shooting the ball super well, he's been just finding his teammates at an elite level, which we already know he can do that. But this year, it's just like I feel like it's been taken to another level. this year with the playmaking and the things he's doing. Like it's just been really fun. If they could just defend things besides Dyson Daniels, like they actually probably would be a good team. But they just don't do that, and the inconsistency is still there a lot. But the Hawks, they're very confusing. So we gotta see what happens the rest of the year. But there's some really nice things about the Hawks. At 16, we have the San Antonio Spurs sitting at 10 and 9, 10th in the Western Conference. They have the 20th rated offense, 11th defense, 16th in net rating. The Spurs have been a lot better than I expected them to be this season so far. You know, I expected them to be all right. I didn't expect them to be anything crazy, but they have been good. You know, even without Greg Popovich, unfortunately, you know, with his stuff he's going on, hopefully, you know, he's doing very well. But even with injuries too, like Devin Vassell's only played in 5 games, Jeremy Song's only played in 7 games. Those are 2 starters, or 2 like core pieces of this future. They've still been really good. Victor Wembanyama, he had a really rough start, but he's doing it now. 23-10, 3.5 blocks per game. Keldon Johnson has found a role for himself as a 6 man. He's had some really explosive moments. Harrison Barnes won Player of the Week last week. You know, he's doing his thing. It's the vets, really. Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul have been huge pieces. Harrison Barnes, you know, shooting very well, 51, 47 from the field. Chris Paul, like, has had great moments. You know, the jumper is back. He's been playing very well, averaging 8 assists, 10 points. He's been doing his thing. Stephon Castle, the rookie, has had some really big moments as well this season. Julian Champagnie is finding a role for himself on this team. Like the Spurs they've been a lot better than expected. They had a lot more players contributing than what I thought this season, and it's just been really nice to watch. It's been like, dang, are the Spurs actually like good? They've been very kind of up and down. They'll have a game where they win 2 games in a row, then they have like a really rough loss. Like it's still very up and down, which makes sense. Obviously, makes sense. But like they've been competitive, really competitive, and it's like, man, like the vets, Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, got to give huge shouts to them, you know. And this team is slowly just kind of developing in front of our eyes. I can't wait to see when Jeremy Song comes back and when Devin Vassell can actually play, you know, games in a row. I can't wait to see how the full team looks like. So yeah, the Spurs, they've been good. They've so far have been very impressive to me this season. At 15, we have the Miami Heat. They are 9 and 8, sitting at number 5 in the Eastern Conference. They have the 15th rated offense, 9th rated defense, 12th in net rating. The Heat they've just been so Miami Heat to me, in a sense of I never know what's happening with the Miami Heat. Like you could never really predict what happens with Miami. You know, things just kind of happen, and it's just like, oh, okay. Like Jimmy Butler has just kind of been like, when he wants to play, he will play, but he doesn't want to play, he doesn't want to play. Bam Adebayo has been just kind of disappointing this season. Terry Rozier has not really done anything at all this year. The depth has just kind of been like, eh. Sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. The only consistent has really been Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero's been just the best player on the Heat this season. He's been like all-star like 23, 5 and 5 on really good efficiency. So you have that. You have some games where again, it's like I feel like it's every game. It's just this team kind of shows up when they want. Like some games, Tyler Hero's gonna have 25. Bam's gonna have like almost near triple double. Jimmy's gonna have 25 to 30. The bench is gonna hit a couple shots. It's like dang. Then there's some games where it's like Bam has 9, Jimmy has 7. Terry Rozier is not doing anything. The bench is just kind of out there, and they're gonna score 83 points, and they're gonna lose. So it's like I don't really know. It's like, can we find some consistency at least? If we're gonna be good, be good. If we're gonna be bad, let's be bad. Like, why we're flip flopping? We are flip flopping, and I just really don't. I honestly, I don't really know where I stand with this team in terms of what I think of this team, in terms of competing and contending and where they fit in the Eastern Conference. I really don't know because they're not as good as Cleveland. They're not as good as Boston. Honestly, they're not as good as New York or even maybe Milwaukee right now. But they're way better than Indiana, Atlanta. So it's like they're in this weird mid of the Western Conference, of the Eastern Conference, where they're kind of like some nights they could be competing, some nights they're not going to be competing, and most of the time they're just going to be kind of average. So I really just don't know what this team is still. Like I'm gonna have to watch more and figure out more to really know where this team lies. But right, it's been really weird. It's been really Miami Heat esque this season, where it's really weird and you never really know what's gonna happen. At 14, we have the Milwaukee Bucks sitting at 10 and 9, number 6 in the East. The Bucks, I mean, we know they had a horrible start to the season, really horrible start to the season, but they have been on it recently. They're the 12th offense, 14th defense, 14th in net rating. They have won 8 of their last 9 games, and things have been turning around, really. You know, I mean, Giannis is having an MVP season, leading the league in scoring. I mean, giving you 33, 12, and 6, and a block on 61% shooting. That's just, I mean, I don't even know what to say about those numbers. Dame has been doing it, but really, the others have really stepped up. Brook Lopez recently. Brook Lopez is finally like back to life, you know, shooting 36% from three, almost 2.5 blocks. Torian Prince is leading the league in 3-point shooting. Gary Trent Jr., since putting him on the bench, has come back. AJ Green has been really nice, 47% from three. Andre Jackson has had some good moments with this team, bringing some energy and athleticism. Like, I feel it's like the defense went from being bad to like average, so like things are looking up for Milwaukee, really. Like they just really, I don't know what. I mean, I really it's just the others, like the others, the role players are really stepping up and playing super well, and them kind of just locking in on defense. That's really what it's been. Slight changes of just some guys hitting more shots than usual, and some more defense being played, and all of a sudden, you know, we're coming back. All of a sudden, we're above 500, and we're a top 16. We're a couple wins away from being a top 4 or 5 seed in the Eastern Conference, which we know we should be. So yeah, I mean, it's really nice for Milwaukee to see them kind of fight back after having that rough start and everything going on about trades and a potential Giannis trade and all this stuff. And now it's kind of like, you know, that was just a rough start. Everybody calm down. We're good. We are good. We still have so many more games left to play. We're good. And them to actually show that and be like, hey, like, watch this. We're going to win some games. Watch this. It's been really cool to see. So it's really nice to see the resilience the Bucks have. They're gonna have to continue this the rest of the year. They still don't have Chris Middleton yet, but hopefully he'll be back pretty soon. They said he was kind of cleared, but not really cleared. Like they're still ramping him up to play. So we'll see when he comes back. But you know, it's really nice to see him kind of, you know, or the Bucks in general, kind of find their way, find their path, and find their way back. At 13, we have the LA Clippers at 12-9, sitting at number 9 in the Western Conference. They have the 24th rated offense, the 4th rated defense, 10th in net rating. With Kawhi Leonard has not stepped on the court this season, and yet they are a well above 500 team and have actually been they've been really good this year. Their defense has been great. I mean, a top 5 defense. It's been elite. Shout out to Jeff Van Gundy, you know, the defense man. And they've had so many players step up. I mean, James Harden, even though he's having a really bad efficiency season, has still been doing James Harden things. Give you 21, 7, and 8. Just been managing the game, been a great point guard for this team. Has had some moments. It's been really nice. Norman Powell has had his MIP type season. He has missed the last couple games, but he was playing, give you 23 points per game on an amazing efficiency, shooting the lights out. Ivica Zubac is having a really nice season at 15 and 12 on 62% shooting. And then you got Derrick Jones Jr. shooting 42% from three. Amir Coffey, I love Amir Coffey, man. Amir Coffey's one of my favorite role players this year, shooting 41% from three. Just been giving you everything you need. Chris Dunn is just absolutely elite defensively. Terrence Mann, since going to the bench, has been better. Like there's been good. Nick Batum still does Nick Batum things when he plays. Everybody has really just been outplaying what we thought they could be. And coming into this year, I mean, I had no expectation. I think nobody had expectation for the Clippers at all without Kawhi Leonard. But now all of a sudden it's 12-9. And like, huh? When Kawhi comes back, if Kawhi comes back, is this an actual like competent, competitive Western Conference playoff team? It might be. Like with the way James Harden's playing, Norman Powell, I don't expect him to average 23 points per game this entire year, but he's probably going to be a good scorer. Zubac, and you got Derrick Jones, Amir Coffey, Chris Dunn, Terrence Mann, Nick Batum, Jordan Miller is playing minutes now for this team. So it's like maybe if Kawhi steps on the court and Kawhi Leonard, this is a team you're gonna have to you can't take lightly at all. So shout out to the Clippers, shout out to Tyronn Lue. He always does this, always finds a way with, you know, when things just go wrong, he always finds a way to right the ship and have people outplay what we expect them to play. So shout out to Tyronn Lue for that. But yeah, the Clippers, you know, they've been super impressive. At number 12, we have the New York Knicks sitting at 11-8, fourth in the Eastern Conference. The second rated offense, 23rd defense, ninth in net rating. They've been a very interesting team this year too, because I still am also kind of trying to gauge what they are. Not really how good they are, but kind of how good they are, but also like what is this team in terms of what are they relying on? Because they've always been a defensive first team, and the offense just kind of comes when they have to. This year, their offense has been good. Their defense hasn't really been there. You know, Coffee Towns is having a phenomenal season, 26, 12, and 3. An insane if he's been just absolutely all NBA type stuff. Like he's been on it. Jalen Brunson has been doing his thing as well. OG Anunoby's having a really good offensive season. After that, Mikal Bridges, there's been a lot of talk about him. He just hasn't really been the Mikal Bridges that we expected, shooting 30% from three, 61% from the free throw line. Defense hasn't been as elite as we know Mikal Bridges can be, and he hasn't really been there. Josh Hartman's good, they don't have any depth really. After besides Deuce McBride, you don't have anyone you really can trust. Like Cameron Payne is gonna go out there and play, but Cameron Payne's like, all right, Jericho Sims hasn't really done anything. The rookies, Tyler Kolek, Bacome Dadier, they're rookies, so you can't really expect them to do anything. They still are waiting on Mitchell Robinson and Precious Achiuwa to come back. So there's a lot of things. And the defense just has not been there. Guys like Mikal Bridges hasn't really been the defensive guy that we expect him to be. Anthony Towns, we already know he's not a great rim protector. He's shown he's not a great rim protector. They don't have any backup bigs that are gonna like really dominate the paint. You know what I mean? It's just the defense has not really been there at all. They really have become a team where it's like, all right, we're just going to score a bunch of points. That's what they did against Denver. They just put 145 points. But you also saw the next game against Dallas where the offense wasn't going. They got blown out. So it's just it's just insane how much this team's identity is trying to flip in just one season. They flip from being a team that's going to lock you down to a team that's just going to put up a bunch of points on you, which is fun. But it's like at some point their defense is going to have to find a way. And I honestly do think when Precious Achiuwa and Mitchell Robinson come back, that's going to change a lot of different things. Where you maybe you put Cat at the 4, put Mitchell Robinson at that 5 potentially. That helps a lot. That's where he looked good last year with Rudy Gobert next to him. Mitchell Robinson's not Rudy Gobert, but it's a better option. So yeah, they're going to have to find that at some point. But they still have been good enough to keep afloat, especially in the Eastern Conference. At number 11, we have the LA Lakers sitting at 11 and 8, 8th in the Western Conference. They have the 7th rated offense, 25th defense, 19th in net rating. They had such a hot start, and they've been flip flopping where they've won a couple games in a row, lost a couple games in a row, won a couple games in a row, lost a couple games in a row. They've been they're right now they're on that losing side of things. And yeah, it's been very just kind of odd a little bit with this team, you know. Anthony Davis is having an amazing season. Gave you 28, 11, and 3, a steal, 2 blocks. He's been phenomenal. LeBron, still at almost 40 years old, has still been good. Austin Reeves has had a really improved season. Dalton Connect is having a really good rookie year. After that, D'Lo's coming off the bench now. He's, whatever. Rui Hachimura, I really love the start he had, but so far after that, he's been kind of just Cam Reddish has shown some things, but he's more of a defensive type of player. Jackson Hayes is out now. Max Christie's been not shooting the ball super well from 3. Gabe Vincent, it doesn't do anything really at all. So the depth is still kind of just like, whatever. The defense has not been there. Bottom 5 defense in the league, unexpectedly. And it's just like, they're good, but how good are they? Like, they're still trying to figure out how good are they. Because when AD and LeBron are out there, they're playing, they're going to have a chance to win every game with AD and LeBron. They're going to have a chance to win every game. They have won games with AD and LeBron just being AD and LeBron. But there still are so many holes in this team. In terms of defense still isn't there. The depth still is very, very questionable. So they're probably still going to have to make a move at some point and do something else. But right now, it's been solid. It's been fine. It hasn't been amazing. It hasn't been bad. It's been fine. Which is all right for right now for the Lakers. But eventually they're going to have to start picking it up. At number 10, we have the Denver Nuggets sitting at 10 and 7, number 6 in the Western Conference. They have the 6th rated offense, 19th defense, 11th in net rating. The Denver Nuggets, they had that really kind of disappointing start to the year, but they found themselves slowly but surely. Nikola Jokic is having an MVP year, 29, 13, and 10 on insane efficiency. Michael Porter Jr. has found his shot. He's shooting 40% from 3 now. Christian Brown is having an MIP type season. Russell Westbrook has been great recently. They've had their young guys like Peyton Watson and Julian Strawther really kind of have some big moments at some points in the year. Jamal Murray is still, we're trying to find him. Aaron Gordon still is going to be out for a little bit. There's still some problems for this team. The defense still isn't there. The depth still is very on and off. at certain points, but they're starting to look a lot more like the Denver Nuggets I were used to seeing, which is a good step. Even with Jamal Murray still struggling to find his shot, they're still like looking like the old Denver Nuggets I were used to seeing. So that's really nice. I got to give a lot of flowers to Russell Westbrook. Really, like I really think he's having a phenomenal season recently. Christian Brown as well. Like those guys have been just those guys kind of been like the backbone a little bit. Them and Michael Porter Jr. Those three have kind of been the backbone of leading this Denver Nugget team back to doing what they're doing now. You know, so yeah, got to give a lot of credit to those three guys right there. And yeah, I mean the Nuggets are slowly coming back. They're still again still question marks, still problems a little bit, still not amazing, but as long as they have Nikola Jokic on the court, they're gonna have a chance to win every game, which they have won games strictly with Nikola Jokic just being Nikola Jokic out there. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens for the rest of the season, but they're slowly making their comeback. At number 9, we have the Dallas Mavericks sitting at 12-8, fifth in the Western Conference. They have the fifth rated offense, seventh rated defense, sixth in net rating. They start off the season kind of shaky a little bit, but they have found their way recently. Looking at some of their games, yeah, they won 7 of their last 8 games. They're back up to well over 500, top 5 in the Western Conference, and doing a lot of this without Luka. Luka's hurt his wrist. I think he should be back in another game or two. But Luka wasn't really having. I mean, 28-7-7 is still crazy, but he wasn't really having a Luka Doncic type of season, And then with his injury, I feel like this is a blessing in disguise because now I feel like everybody else is getting their rhythm going. Kyrie Irving is having an All NBA type season to me, 25, 4 and 5 on 50, 49, almost 9, well, 88, 50, 40, 88. PJ Washington has been very good recently, showing how important he is to this team. Daniel Gafford is leading the league in field goal percentage again. Najee Marshall has been so good. I'm giving you 11 points. Even though he's shooting 29% from three, he's still finding a way to really contribute. Derek Lively's doing his thing. Quentin Grimes has found his shot. He's shooting 41% from three now. Spencer Dinwiddie's had some games. Jane Hardy's had some moments. So, like, I feel like this is good because now everybody's finding their rhythm. So now when Luke comes back, it's just going to be like a seamless fit in a way. Where it's just like, all right, now Quentin Grimes can shoot the ball now. Now Najee Marshall knows his role. Now PJ Washington's doing his thing. So, so it's like this is great. This is great for the Mavericks, I was really high on them coming into the season. Obviously they were in the finals last year and they got better to me. I think that's huge. And now, they're finally everybody's starting to find a rhythm at some point. Everybody's finding a rhythm. Now when Luka comes back, hope he can just come right in, like fit right in, and everybody can just, they can start really ascending this team. At number 8, we have the Phoenix Suns sitting at 11-8, 7th in the Western Conference. They have the 13th rated offense, 20th defense, 17th in net rating. Now, I feel like I put the Suns a little bit higher than a couple of teams like the Mavericks and the Nuggets and them, because this team's fully healthy with Kevin Durant. They are really, really good. Like Kevin Durant missed good games. Bradley Beal's been in that line the entire season. They had that stretch where it was just Devin Booker and they look pretty bad. But with Kevin Durant, I feel like everything's just better. KD's give you 27 and 7 on amazing efficiency. Devin Booker's having a really good season. Bradley Beal, when he does play, has been good. 18 points per game on 50, 39, 80. Tyus Jones has been solid. Royce O'Neal has been just really good role player for this team. Ryan Dunn has had a solid rookie year. Monte Morris has been solid. Josh Okogie when he gets minutes randomly. Also Iguodala is getting minutes now, and he's been solid. So there's been some things. Nustin Nurkic still has been kind of bad. Grayson Allen still is kind of trying to find his 3-point shot. But, when they're fully healthy and when they're playing, this Phoenix Suns team is a contender to me. The Suns team is a contender to me when Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal are playing on the court. They really are. I really do believe they are contenders when those three are playing. Because it's just like, man, things are just so much better now. They have point guard play now. They have good role player play. Their offense is just a lot more 3-pointers are getting shot up, which is nice. And yeah, I don't know. I'm really falling for the Suns team right now. I really am. Where I wasn't really like a fan of them last year. This year, I'm just like, man, I'm completely kind of flipped. I really do like the Suns team a whole lot when everybody's playing. So yeah, they're going to be a really tough team to beat. I really do believe this team is a contender when they're fully healthy. And yeah, I don't know. There's something about the Suns team I just really, really like. They still have to clean up some things. The fourth quarters still get kind of iffy sometimes. The third quarters get kind of, well, not really, actually. Never mind. Never mind. The fourth quarters get kind of iffy sometimes. There's still sometimes where the offense kind of goes a little bit numb. The role players have been a little bit, sometimes they can get kind of off, but they're role players, so you don't expect them to be on every single night like the superstars are. But I do genuinely believe when they're healthy, this team is one of the best in the league, and they've shown it. At number 7, we have the Golden State Warriors sitting at 12-7, fourth in the Western Conference, ninth rated offense, fifth rated defense, seventh in net rating. I mean, they started off hot. They were the number one seed in the West not too long ago, a couple days ago, and then they've lost their last few games in a row. They've lost 4 in a row. Things have looked pretty bad for this team. They lost 5 of their last 7 games. They've been coming down to earth. I mean, they've had a lot of players kind of pop off, kind of come back down to earth. The defense hasn't been as elite as it has been. They've had some blown leads. They've had back-to-back games to the Spurs and to the Nets where they blew double-digit leads at one point. So yeah, it's been interesting with this team. They've had some injuries, some guys not performing really well. Buddy Hield had a hot start, and so far he's cooled off. Jonathan Kuminga hasn't really had the season that we all expected him to kind of have. Brandon Pajemski as well has not really had the season that we expected him to have. Steph hasn't been great the last couple games either. Andrew Wiggins has been good though. Andrew Wiggins give you 17 points on really good shooting, so Andrew Wiggins is low key back. Draymond has been solid. Trey Davis, Moses Moody when he does get minutes, I like it. I think he should get more minutes, but there's still been some problems with this team a little bit in the last couple games, and they're about to go through a gauntlet of a schedule, man. Like looking at the schedule, they already started yesterday with the Suns, which they lost, and the Thunder, which they lost. Then they play against Denver, Houston, Minnesota 3 times in 4 games, Memphis. Like their last couple games, we're really gonna see what the Warriors are about, And then they go Indiana, Lakers, Clippers, Suns, Cavs. Like we're really about to see in this month of December, we're really gonna truly see who the Golden State Warriors are. How good are they actually? Are they actually a contending team that we saw in the first month of this year? Or are they not that good? Are they somewhere in the middle? Who are they? We're really about to see what this team is going to be about. I mean, a move is going to have to come at some point. I don't think this team could just stay like this the entire year, but that's not for right now. That's for a little bit more down the road. But yeah, they've been coming apart a little bit recently. They're going to have to find their way to pick it back up and play some Warrior basketball if they really want to be the contending team and go to the places that we know they want to go. At number 6, we have the Orlando Magic at 14-7, third in the Eastern Conference. The 21st rated offense, third rated defense, 8th in net rating. They have been just absolutely phenomenal without Paolo Banchero. It's been insane. They won 11 of their last 12 games. Things have just been elite. Franz Wagner has been just elite. It's been just incredible watching Franz Wagner duke ball out. Jalen Suggs is playing really good basketball. Everybody on this team. I mean, the defense is elite. Number 3 defense. Their defense, we know what they are on defense, and they're elite. But their offense has just been so, it's Franz Wagner controlling everything, man. Not only is he putting up 23, 25, he's been getting 6, 7, 8 assist games as well, just controlling everything. Jalen Suggs has had big moments. He had a 30-point game not too long ago against the Bulls, I think. Mo Wagner has been solid. Anthony Black has become an actual good rotational player in this team. KCP, even though he's not shooting the ball super well, is still doing KCP type things. Goga Bitadze, since stepping into being a starting center, has been phenomenal. Tristan Da Silva is starting. Jonathan Isaac defensively is elite. There's just so many great things to say about this Orlando Magic team. Really, it's just been such a huge credit to Jamal Mosley, the culture he's built over there in Orlando. He really should get real Coach of the Year buzz for doing what he's doing right now. They're Magic are an actual really good team. When Paolo comes back, man, this team is going to be really hard to beat. They might not come out of the East or anything like that, but they're going to be a really hard team to beat in this Eastern Conference, man. Because they do it, but defensively, they're too good defensively, and they have 2 amazing young wings in Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner that both can take over a game when they need to. So yeah, they just have everything going right for this team, and I love it. I really do love it. At number 5, we have the Memphis Grizzlies sitting at 13-7, third in the West. They have the 4th rated offense, 6th rated defense, 5th in net rating. It's just kind of unfair how this team just does good no matter who's on the court. They played 20 games this year. John Morant's only played in 10 games. John Morant's played in half the games this year. Desmond Bane's only played 13 games this year. Luke Kennard's played 12 games. Marcus Smart's played 10 games. Zach Edey's played 4. Some of their main guys have only played half the games this year. and yet they're still third in the Western Conference because, of course, why not? You know, just this team just has so much. Jaren Jackson is having an amazing season, 22-5. You know, when Ja plays, obviously he's really good. Desmond Bain hasn't really done a whole lot, but he's been like on and off the injury bug this year. So hopefully he can find his way. But then just the depth in this team is just absolutely insane. Santi Aldama give you 13-7. Jalen Wells, their second round pick, has just been phenomenal this year. 12 points on 39% shooting from three. Scottie Pippen Jr. has been one of the best backup point guards in the league this season. Has really shown that he's an actual NBA player. Jay Huff is an NBA player now, shooting 50%, 40%, averaging 9 points, 1.5 blocks. Jake LaRavia is shooting 50, 40, 70. Has been like an energy guy for this team. There's just so many guys that just like step it up and playing good. Where it's like, bro, I don't even know who this. Like, so many people are like, I don't even know who this guy is. Yeah, he's still just like the Grizzlies can really throw a lineup out there of Scottie Pippen, Jalen Wells, um, Jake LaRavia, Jaren, and Jay Huff, and they can win the game still because that's just how good this team is. You know, huge credit to Taylor Jenkins and a phenomenal coach. The Grizzlies, I've said it multiple times already, but the Grizzlies just their development team the last couple years has just been amazing, probably the best in the league, where they just find so many different pieces that you don't even know who they are and find a way to put them in the right position to contribute and be good players. It's so great to see. And when this team gets fully healthy, like they're doing this now with their team not even really fully healthy. You know, they still have some guys injured. John Morant still has been in and out. Desmond Bain still has been in and out of the lineup. When this team is fully healthy, how are you gonna really stop this team? You know, how are you gonna stop this team? Like they're gonna be one of the top seeds in the Western Conference again, probably. And it just everything just is going well for the Grizzlies, man. Really. At number 4, we have the Houston Rockets sitting at 14-6, second in the Western Conference. They have the 18th rated offense, second rated defense, fourth in net rating. The Rockets they've been great this season, man. And coming into this year, I didn't want any high expectations. I predicted this team to miss the play-in again. I just thought the Western Conference was too stacked. But this team has just been defying every expectation that they had, you know. Like everyone has been doing it. Jalen Green, he had a really hot start. He's been cooling off a little bit, but he's had some good games here and there. Still a guy that can give you 20 to 30, sometimes 40 if you need him to. Alperen Sengun has been really phenomenal in the last couple weeks. Fred VanVleet, another guy, he had a really tough start. Him and Jabari Smith Jr. both have kind of tough starts, and they found their way. Dylan Brooks has been solid. Amen Thompson and Tari Eason, the Taro twins, those guys just cause havoc on the court everywhere. Everything's just been going well for the Houston Rockets. I mean, their defense is still elite, number 2 defense in the league. Everybody's been just locking down. I mean, they got Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun out here with some of the top defensive ratings in the NBA. Like the defense has just been stellar, and then offensively, you just have firepower. And Jalen Green can have a night where he drops 35. Alperen Sengun can have a night where he has 21, 10, and 11. You know, Fred VanVleet has a night where he hits 6 threes. Dylan Brooks has a night where he hits 5 threes. Jabari Smith Jr. can have a night where he hits 5 threes. Amen Thompson and Tari Eason come off the bench and give you a combined 17 points, 12 rebounds, 4 steals, and 4 blocks. You know, like everything just is going right for this team. It's so crazy to see how much they've jumped. Like, I didn't expect this much of a jump right now, this early. You know, but they've been doing it right now, and they can continue this. They're definitely a team you don't want to play because they have so much athleticism, so much youth, so much great defense that it's like, man, like this is going to be a tough team to play against. You know, even if they don't have a lot of playoff experience or anything like that, it's a tough team to play against, honestly. So yeah, huge shout out to Ime Udoka and the Houston Rockets over there because they're doing some amazing. They've been probably maybe the most fun team in the NBA as well. So it's been great to watch Houston. And number 3, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder sitting at 15-4, number 1 in the Western Conference. They have the 11th rated offense, first defense, first in net rating. Thunder doing Thunder things, you know, just doing it. The defense has been just insane, elite defensively, really. They've been really good. They're the OKC Thunder. You know, Shea give you 35 and 6, a steal and a block, doing Shea things. J-Dub is having a phenomenal second year, probably gonna be an All-Star this year. Fortunate the Chet injury out because I really thought Chet was gonna make an All-Star team this year, DPOY, that type of stuff. But you know, they still been winning games without him. Isaiah Hartenstein is back and he's giving you 14 and 14 in his return. Lou Dort shooting 41% from 3, and Wiggins shooting 42% from 3. Casey Wallace, even though he's not shooting the ball super well from 3, is still bringing a lot of energy on the defensive end. Isaiah Joe still has games where he can pop off. AJ Mitchell, a second round pick, I think, right? Was he second round pick? I think so, or late first round. He has been like an actual rotational player for this team and shooting the ball super well, and has just been filling the little holes here and there. Alex Caruso, again, even though he's not shooting the ball super well, you know what he can bring on the defensive end in terms of making the little plays happen. So yeah, everything's just been going well for OKC because everything always goes well for OKC apparently. They just always find a way to win, always find a way to do good, and they're just, I mean, they're really good. Um, again, we don't know when Chet's gonna come back. Is that I mean, obviously that's their maybe second best player, but even without him, it's still crazy. They can still win games easily like they have been doing. At number two, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're 17-3, best record in the NBA, number one in the East. They have the third rated offense, 12th defense, third in net rating. Why they're not number one in the power rankings? Because the Boston Celtics still exist, and the Celtics beat the Cavs, and the Cavs also have lost back-to-back games to to the Atlanta Hawks. But this Cavs team is still absolutely amazing. I mean, the last couple games have been kind of weird in terms of the defense has not really been fully there. The offense kind of been shaky, but I mean, this star has been just absolutely elite. I mean, Donovan Mitchell has really picked it up recently. Darius Garland is having an amazing season, 20-7 on really good efficiency. Evan Mobley, love everything about Evan Mobley this season. Jared Allen's been solid. Ty Jerome has become an actual NBA player, rotational player. Karis LeVert's having a really nice season. You got George Niang doing some decent things. Sam Merrill has been all right. Isaac Okoro has been solid. Dean Wade. We really need Dean Wade back because defensively, he's one of our better defensive players. We still have not had Max Strus touch the court this season, who's a starter on this team. So, yeah, everything's been going well for the Cavaliers. I mean, their offense has just been really, really, really good. Like, their offense has just been taking so many different steps. It's been crazy. They're also not really surprised they have come down to earth because, honestly, they were really shooting the ball like number one in field percentage, number one 3-point percentage, like insane elite. So eventually that's going to come down at some point. But I think if their defense can really step back up and take a little bit of a step forward, back a little bit more similar back to what it has been the last couple of years, I think they're going to be fine. I mean, the 2 losses in a row don't really matter a whole lot at this point in the season. They still have won 17 of 20 games, which is still something that not many teams do. So it's still really, really good for them. They're still having a great season, still one of the best teams, if not maybe the best team in the league. So yeah, not really much to worry about for Cleveland. And finally, at number one, obvious, the Boston Celtics, 16-3, second in the East. They have the number one offense, 8th defense, second in net rating. I still believe the Celtics are the team to beat in the NBA and the best team in the NBA. Jason Tatum is having an MVP-like year, give you 28, 8, and 6 on good efficiency. Jaylen Brown has really stepped it up recently, give you 24 points per game. Derek White has been still good. Payne Pritchard, 6th man of the year, running away with it right now, shooting 44% from 3. He literally comes in and changes so many games. Juhadi's doing Juhadi things. Al Horford's doing solid things. Sam Howes has been all right. Neemias Queta has become like a regular rotational player for this team. Kristaps Porzingis is back now, by the way. So, yeah, everything just is going well for Boston. They're shooting the 3 ball at an insane rate. Mazzulla ball is in full effect right now. Things are going really well. They play the Cavaliers again today, so we'll see how that game goes. But, yeah, the Celtics are still the team to beat. They show that multiple times. And they also have shown it in a sense of, like, when it's big games and games that they know we're playing against a team that's actually, like, real, they're going to come out and hoop. Like, there's been a lot of times where, like, the Wizards have kept it close. The Bulls yesterday kept it close. Where sometimes they kind of fool around with their food a little bit. But when it's big, like the Knicks on opening night, the Cavs game, like, there's been games where they know if it's, like, a big game and it's a game where they know people are going to be watching it, they come out and hoop. They really do. So you got to give a lot of credit to them. And genuinely, I still really do believe they are still the best team in the NBA and are still the team to beat and are still the team that's, like, almost head and shoulders above everybody else. You're gonna have to beat the Celtics to really prove that you're a really good team like that. So yeah, I still believe Boston's number one in the NBA. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you stayed to this long in the video, thank you. Because man, I did not expect this video to be that long. But I guess when you're talking about the NBA and talking about a lot of teams, you're gonna talk about a lot, So yeah, once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do also like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.